What's up, guys? Blade Master here, going to be bringing you yet another Total War Rome 2 online battle. This is another battle that I fought with my Macedon build, which I don't know if I've uploaded the Macedon build versus Diplomat, but it's the exact same. That is, of course, fought in the Blade Balance mod. Fighting in Nemetisana, of course. This time I'm fighting up against Silent Sidus. It's not Celcidus anymore. He has taken a vow of silence, or so it seems, since he refused to to acknowledge my presence when before and during and after we played the game. Anyways, this is the same Macedon build. He's brought Massilia now. Let's take a look at my Macedon build. I keep saying Macedon build, I've got a foot companion here, a couple of pikemen surrounding him. Total of 3 pikemen, 3 levy pikemen. So some levy pikemen with pikemen interspersed next to them. Total of 3 archers, couple of Aspis companion cav, total of 4 Thessalian cav, and 2 mercenary Thracian warriors. Going to be used. The Thessalian cav are solely going to be used to try and crush the flanks, and the Thracian warrior will be an invaluable tool in helping support once the Thessalian cav have engaged. The Aspis companion cav are going to be, hybrid units that can either help support the infantry battle with the pikes, or it can sort of even help out the cav battle, because against super cheap cav they won't do a very cost effective job, but they'll get the job done. Now, Massilia, brought by Celcidus, we can see a total of 3 levy freemen. I feel bad bringing this Macedon build because this is not tournament legal. 6 max pikes is what I usually set, and this is 7 along with my general. Total of 3 levy freemen, 3 Celtic slingers, 4 Massilian hoplites, including a Massilian hoplite general, a Hippeus lancer, a Massilian cav on either flank, and two axe warriors and a thorax swordsman up in front in the flanks. Now I'm trying to get him to chase after my Thessalian cav and fire some of his javelin volleys. Of course, the thorax swordsmen have 2 pesky javelin volleys, which I'm trying to get them to fire with my Thessalian cav, but they're not really doing it, and I'm too much of a pussy to press the issue and just charge into them. Of course, that's probably a smart idea, since then the axe warriors will throw their javelins and I would lose the Thessalian cav for not really doing much. Also, you might see that, or you probably can see, you definitely see that I moved my foot companion's general over here. That's because I saw that he has a lot of slingers, he has a lot of levy freemen, so he has a lot of potential of just smashing my foot companions through concentrated fire. So that's why I pushed them onto the side where they'd be relatively unscathed. Again, trying to induce some javelins, baiting some javelins, and doesn't really work. This Massilian build will not win against this Macedon build. I can just tell you, spoiler alert. But yeah, it's not going to win against Macedon, but against this, but it's still going to be a fun game. And I'll try and get you guys some cool close-ups, which I feel like I haven't really done that recently. But the reason why I think this Massilian build won't win against this Macedon build, or most Macedon builds, is because you have to expect in blade balance, if you're coming up against an opponent who plays a lot of blade balance, you have to expect a lot of pikes being brought by Macedon. Minimum 4, max 6, I would assume. If they're going to bring max 6 pikes and they're a smart opponent, they are going to bring 4 Thessalian cav at least, because they need a lot of maneuverability. As you can see, while my archers start firing at his axe warriors. And they might bring an Aspis companion cav, or they might bring maybe a royal peltist or something like that. So there's nothing really that a traditional Massilian build, a varied Massilian build like this can really do, because you're going to get overwhelmed on the flanks. Well, let's start at the cav. If you're going to bring Massilian cav, they're going to get destroyed by Thessalian cav, because Massilian cav are medium melee cavalry. Thessalian cav are heavier in mass, have an excellent charge, and then they're just going to destroy all of them on the charge. If you bring 1 Hippeus Lancer, it's a good start, but it's not going to be enough to win you the flanks by themselves. Unless you can support with Axe Warriors quick enough, then you won't be able to win the flank battles, especially if your opponent brings mercenary Thracian warriors who come in to help support the flanks, and thus they will crush your axe warriors, and they'll win the cav battle for the Macedon players because they have a bonus versus large. Here you can see my Thessalian cav bowling over some of the axe warriors, and axe warriors lose a lot of men on the charge. Here, coming in with a very early charge, quick charge against the Massilia cav, you can see how quickly my Thessalian cav destroy them on the charge. 31 kills, 32 kills of Massilia cav, and then I'm bringing my Thracian warriors to help support. Also bringing in my foot companions, but I see he's trying to charge in with his thorax swordsman, which I think is another mistake. I don't know why you would want to bring thorax swordsman here, but we'll talk about that soon. Here coming in with an Aspis companion cav, bowling over an already damaged axe warrior, and then destroying them, pulling away, and then retreating to the safety of my pikes. Doing a similar thing with my Thessalian cav here, charging in, pulling back. And the flank battle is essentially won now because I've got a Thessalian cav behind my lines. I'm going to pull back this Thessalian cav and let my Thracian warriors do the talking. And he's going to pull back his Epeius lancers, but that means his axe warriors are going to face the brunt of my Thracian warriors, and the Thracian warriors are going to do very well there. And I'm going to follow in with my foot companions here. He's trying to pull back his axe warriors, but while he pulls back, I'm going to fire into the rear with my archers. I've got 3 of them, and they're going to, with concentrated fire, they're going to do a lot of damage. And he's firing another javelin volley, killing off one more of my foot companions, which is good, smartly done. I was about to say goodly. His axe warriors here are getting destroyed. Thracian warriors, they're doing decent enough. He's pulling back his Epeius lancers, which is a smart idea. Trying to prolong this engagement because I've won this flank battle, so he wants to keep his Epeius Lancer alive. But the flank battle was lost when he brought those sort of units. Now he's going to charge in. Thessalian cav, of course, quicker than his Epeius Lancer, and then I'm going to bring in a mercenary Thracian warrior to help support. Just rinse and repeat. Uses his thorax swordsman in shield wall, so I'm just going to pull back, pull away, and turn around, and maybe even just charge into his Levy Freeman. Now, what should he have brought against Macedon? I would definitely go very heavy on the Epeius Lancers. Bringing 4 Epeius Lancers will not only crush the Thessalian cav, but it would make it would even up the odds because you would crush the Thessalian cav on the charge. You can pull back after you bring in your Celtic warriors and axe warrior support, and you still would have enough money because you can just you can remove some of the thorax swordsmen. You can bring much better cavalry, and thus you can win off the flanks. So the strategy when going up against a Macedon build, especially a Macedon Pike build, which is what you should expect against Macedon, is removing the flank threat. And the flank threat is great for Macedon because they have good cav, they have good mid-tier cav, and they've got good support infantry. How do you beat mid-tier shock cav? With Massilia specifically, you bring expensive shock cav. You bring Epeius Lancers with trample, especially if you pop trample, you can slaughter Thessalian cav, and then you have very similar support in your Celtic warriors and axe warriors that you have to utilize if you want to win out the flanks. So thorax swordsman here, wavering flaming shot being poured in. They have 60 regular morale with flaming shot. Now they have only 40, and that means they're going to rout very soon. Thracian warriors here doing brilliantly and then killing them off. I won the left hand side flank battle. Big mistake here, letting my non-maneuverable pike line reform at will. Should have been using his Celtic slingers to fire a long time ago, but they are firing now. They've gotten 23 kills on pikemen, so that in that sense he's starting to do well now. Now since I've destroyed this flank, I've removed this flank, I'm able to get shots onto his unshielded side with my archers. Again, due to the high trajectory of these guys, most of the arrows are still going to pour into right on top of these shields. But either ways, it's going to be better than just firing straight up at them. Now, especially with their backs turned, they are going to lose some men, as you can see there. And I reform my pike line, and I'm going to try and push through the, go ahead and push the left-hand side battle and try and win that out in my favor. Going to charge in, rear charge his Levy Freeman, pull back my Thessalian cav. They lost some men, but Levy Freeman have taken a bunch of damage. They probably got my Thessalian cav, got a lot of kills on my Thessalian cav by, getting a javelin volley onto their rear. Here, a bit of miss micro because I'm trying to charge in with my Thessalian Cav there. Here, he uses his Levy Freeman very well and gets a beautiful javelin volley on my Thessalian Cav. I'm forced to pull back now. Again, getting a charge in, Levy Freeman dying, and Massilian Hoplites trying to support, get shot at by archers in the process, and again pulling back. So I don't even think there's much of a reason to bring a lot of Massilian Hoplites, because see, what would a Macedonian player think when he's bringing Macedon against Massilia? Massilia has a huge edge in the low tier infantry, and Massilian Hoplites will destroy Thorax Swordsman. So honestly, there's no real reason for him to bring Thorax Swordsman. He's lost the melee infantry battle. Here my Thessalian Cav takes shots from his Celtic Slingers, doing well there, Celcidas. So there's no real reason to bring Thorax Swordsman. At least that would be my thought process. I would bring decent amount of skirmishers. I would even bring Rhodian Slingers, because I know the weakness of Massilia lies in their lack of skirmishers. Charging in with pikemen here, I just decide to take the offensive and charge in, pop pike phalanx. And the pikes are going to do something weird now, because I'm swarming in on a few units with a lot of pikes, which means that some of them are going to reform in a weird way. And there's going to be evidently a lot of lag. But yeah, pikes going to reform. There's a lot of shit going on now. And using my foot companions to just keep poking in and hit a lot of the Massilian Hoplites. Now, smartly done, he forces me to take the engagement, and now he comes in with a rear charge with his Axe Warriors. But that means I can get a free rear charge with my Thessalian Cav. I catch both of his Massilian Cav and my Thessalian Cav fight off in that engagement far away. But that means I can rear charge with my Aspis Companion Cav. So taking this engagement right here is not that bad for me, even if it means I lose my Thessalian Cav, which I don't think I will, because I got a proper charge. And here, just a massive clusterfuck. But at the important thing is that his Massilian Hoplites are facing up against the front of my pikes, with archers firing into their rear as they try to retreat. Foot Companion is about to get a single XP chevron, killing off some of his Levy Freemen, getting some kills on his Massilian Hoplites as well. So, coming back to the thought process, as a Macedonian player, I would not want to bring Thorax Swordsman. Maybe I'd bring a Royal Peltist if I felt like it. But at the end of the day, the Royal Peltists are a very good unit. But if you're not going to bring Thorax Swordsman, what's the point of bringing Royal Peltists just by themselves? So all roads lead to pikes, it seems. Macedon has a shit hoplite line, so spear infantry out of the question. Macedon has only Thorax Swordsman and availability to 3 mercenary Thracian warriors, which honestly is not going to be enough. A decent traditional Massilian army is going to feature Massilian Hoplites, Thorax Swordsmen, Celtic warriors, and Axe warriors. So I would not bring melee infantry as well. So I would only be left with pikes. And if I'm only left with pikes, you can be damn sure that I'll bring at least 4. So bringing, 4 Massilian Hoplites, who are, relatively slow units and slow to kill units as well, not really the greatest idea in my opinion. You would want to spend a lot of money on your, on bringing a decent number of cheap melee infantry who will swarm the flanks, and you'd want to bring at least 4 Hippeus Lancers in my opinion, maybe 4 Hippeus Lancers and a couple of Massilian Cav as well. Actually, that would be a very good idea. Bringing 4 Hippeus Lancers, 2 Massilian Cavalry, charge in with the Hippeus Lancers, then bring in the Massilian Cavalry to support, destroy the enemy Thessalian Cav, maybe even use the Massilian Cav to hold off Aspis Companion Cav, and you've won the flank battle that way. If I so felt like it, I could bring Thorax Swordsman with Aspis Companion Cav to support, but that is a Macedon build that would fail, because there's going to be just too many spears. There's access to Levy Freeman for Massilia. There's the cheap Celtic warriors and Axe warriors, 1 javelin volley from them, and that's going to be the end of it for Aspis Companion Cav, so to speak. So there's no real reason why I wouldn't want to bring a lot of pikes. So with that in mind, if you're the Massilian player, you think about that, you'd know that I wouldn't bring anything but pikes. And the only good counter to a solid pike line is winning out the flanks And that's why you should bring a lot of cav and a lot of expensive cav, because the Thessalian cav themselves are a strong cavalry unit, so you need to just overwhelm them in terms of quality. The Massilian cav are an excellent support cavalry unit. Highly rate them, but they can't be used when facing up against a charge. Here, the Aspis Companion Cav rear charge the Massilian Hoplites, and they are facing up against the front of Levy Pikes. And coming in with the second Aspis Companion Cav there, just slaughtering a lot of those Massilian Hoplites there. And here, the Mercenary Thracian Warriors get a double XP share run. That's why they're such an essential unit to a good Macedon build. Bringing them behind Thessalian Cav is such a powerful combination. Coming in with foot companions without pike phalanx again, and then popping pike phalanx once they get into combat. And all in all, he's going to retreat with his Massilia Hoplites, but that means I have free reign to get a second and third rear charge with my Aspis Companion Cav. Some of his Massilian Hoplites wavering army losses, even his Massilian Hoplites general wavering due to army losses. And that's the tactical advantage from having a lot of pikes. And that is something that I haven't seen in the Blade Balance tournament so far, but I know that there are a couple of games in round 3 where a lot of pikes are used as a, more than, so where pikes are used, a big pike line is used more as a tactical tool than something like a killing force. Close victory to me, and I think this was an interesting video to watch just so that you could hear me ramble on. I don't know if that's interesting or not, but you could at least hear me ramble on about the matchup between Macedon and Massilia. Pretty interesting matchup, I have to say. Both of these factions have relatively varied rosters, and there are a bunch of things that people can bring, but that's another reason why I decided to not buff Thorax Swordsman. Thorax Swordsman, if I buff Thorax Swordsman, then everyone's going to just bring Thorax Swords with Macedon. And that's not what I want people to do. I want people to bring pikes. I want people to bring a solid pike line. And then I want to force people to think about a new army setup that could possibly be brought. And this, I think, is a very powerful army setup. Honestly, you don't even need to bring this foot companion. You can bring a shield bearer and keep it, tournament legal. Or maybe even bring a companion cavalry general. And if you're facing up against something like a Massilian army, for example, a companion cavalry general would do extremely well. Killing off a Massilian cavalry with trample, or maybe rear charging or front charging some of the axe warriors and stuff could be very, very useful. Anyways, guys, that's the end of this battle. Hope you enjoyed my ramblings, and stay tuned for more. Peace.